some leftist countries like Nicaragua, for example, or Uruguay, which is a center-left country, and but of course they are not going to show Colombia or Mexico as part of, because I mean those are like among the countries that best represent the U.S. interest in Latin America right now. If you ask me, Chile also maybe. But
I'm sorry. Let's cut to the chase. The countries you mentioned, it's more money in drugs than it is oil and corn. Believe it.
I don't
I know it's going to strike some, raise some eyebrows, but you know what I'm saying.
I don't understand you very well. I don't know why. Maybe my English is not good enough for that.
Maybe I'm speaking too down to earth. But the countries you mentioned to the left,
I mean Mexico. And
okay. There's Colombia. Obviously, we know big drug trade for America.
Yes,
all right.
That's a big problem.
And what I'm saying is, you know, although we can get a lot of oil, you know, from your country, and now they're growing corn and soybeans and all that. Although it's illegal, the drug trafficking is more money to America than oil and corn. You know,
the oil business also move a lot of money, but that's true. I mean,
unfortunately,
I didn't saw it that way. When I was talking, when I was mentioning Mexico and Colombia and Chile, I was thinking in their presidents and how politically oriented are them. And it's true that right now Mexico and Colombia are affected, and I don't see that like something that belongs to the Mexican or the Colombian people, and we have to learn to difference that. I mean, I believe that Mexicans or Colombians are victims of a very big drug corporation that is basically, its origins are here in the U.S. and Europe. And that's how it works. I mean, they always talk about the fights against drugs and things like that, and they only show how they destroy the growth of cocaine and marijuana or whatever, but they never mention how the consumption is in the U.S. or Europe or other countries, which is, from my perspective, the first signature of the business. I mean, if there was no consumption, there won't be production. That's why I believe Bolivian president defends so that much the coca leaf, because that's part of their culture, and they try to satanize him because they say that he defends cocaine, but the reality is that he defends the leaf of coca, which is different from cocaine, which is the thing that is consumed here in the U.S. or Europe or any other country where you can buy drugs. There was another question.
Yeah, I'm concerned here. My understanding was that you all were against Bush's policies. That's what you was fighting. Is that correct?
As we see it in Venezuela, we are not against anything. We are trying to implement our own model, and we are against those who tries to interfere in.
So he was trying to interfere, right?
Yes.
So then again, you against his policy because he was trying to interfere.
That's our perspective, yes.
Right? Yes. Why would you show on your video a network that supports his policies?
I mean, that's not a documentary that we produced. I mean, that's a documentary that was directed by Oliver Stone, which is a very well-known director and producer here in the U.S. And he presented that way. That doesn't mean that we support it, but anyways, if you ask me personally, I believe that it's a good way to see how media demonize us. And it's nice to contrast those things with the reality that he presents in the documentary, because you you see that there might be something wrong where they call our president a dictator, and then you hear the president of Argentina telling you that it's incredible how a dictator can have certain elections in 12 years. And he haven't won all of those elections, by the way. So that's a way of presenting things. That's the way Oliver Stone chose to present it. I believe that is nice, because other way might be try to not present that criticism, and that's an option, but
It's like to compare both sides, you
it's
know.
like, yes, it's like trying to compare different perspectives, maybe.
Right, which should have another network included in there besides just the one.
Yes,
My suggestion.
maybe. I believe that he chose the strongest one.
Yeah.
The strongest one against,
Against Chavez.
Against leftist movement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The most active networks against progressive movement and things.
Is there a supportive network?
Maybe. But that's a discussion that we might have there. But, yes, that's a point of view. Yes.
Going back to Mr. Chavez again, would you say that what he's tried, I mean, some of the good things that he's trying to do is to bring people together? And if we could, if that's true, then what could we have a sense of maybe how that would be, how we could begin doing some of that, something positive here in the United States? And I'm thinking about the Midwest Workers Association. Maybe somebody from that organization could comment. But first, take whatever you think.
Yes, I understand your question, but I always try to clarify that it's difficult to me to get that deep into like a promoter of revolutions in the U.S. If the government see a footage of me doing that, they're going to send me home immediately. So it's complicated for me to do that, but I understand the good spirit behind your questions, and I believe that people have to organize themselves and try to replicate the good things happens in other countries. And it's easy. I mean, for example, the communal council experiment that we are implementing in Venezuela is something that we didn't invent. We took some initiatives from Brazil, even from Libya, and Cuba have good experience in those sort of communal concepts, and we try to make it like more structured, like within our constitutional framework. But that's something that we didn't invent. I mean, we are just trying to take some good examples of communal and people's organization to try to see if we can break the model that creates that much of poverty, inequality, and things like that. So that's part of the experiment we are creating, and I believe that if we did that in Venezuela, you are more capable of doing things like that here in the U.S., and that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change the constitution or something like that. You just have to try to organize yourself and try to experiment. I mean, that's something that is not necessarily tied to a legal change or something like that. And if you ask me, I believe that here in the U.S. are a lot of good examples of people organizing themselves to solve their own problems. And it's contradictory because you see the U.S. as the most important capitalistic power in the world, but when you see deeper into the people's organization and you see good experiences of cause movement or people organizing themselves to consume or to defend their rights or whatever, you see good things here in the U.S.